you know. Some people are loners because they don't want to be around people. But that's not me. I want to be around people. But they don't want to be around me. That is, unless I'm, studying to pass their litmus tests, smiling when they move the goalpost like it's okay to do, and that sort of thing. Loneliness is kind of weird when you're around people who don't get you. That's a different kind of loneliness. And being alone would suck then, because people don't get you and you don't get them or something. But then, it's not about like victimhood Olympics, but you're dealing with a kind of existential loneliness, which sucks. But then for myself, I get that all the time. In fact, I've never ever been in a group of people where I felt like they get me or I get them or both. But then, being isolated, being socially isolated is a different kind of loneliness when you have that on top of the existential isolation. I'm going to go through this thicket of pines here. It's nice and cool in here. And, it's pretty beautiful. But for my whole life, it's been like, I get kicked out of the sandbox, and then they mock you for being alone. And you're in the high school cafeteria, and then they tease and mock you until you conform, and then when you go sit somewhere else, they mock you some more. And then you grow up. I grew up, and then got a professional job at some of the most reputable, top-tier 4-year institutions in the world. And even there, my colleagues would, it's one thing when you see people throwing the ball, that you throw the ball to somebody and then they throw it back to you and you catch it and you throw it back. But it's another thing when you throw the ball, they catch the ball, but they don't throw it back. That's a kind of loneliness that's, when that happens once or twice, people go, ooh, I got a boo-boo. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking like half a century of that shit. And when I try to reach out, I've gotten told, oh, it's your family. It was your upbringing. And you just got to reach out, which I have. And then you know what they say? They say, how dare you not respect your family? Can you fucking believe that shit? But it wasn't just them. It was my community, too. If you've been following my channel and my shorts or reels or whatever the fuck they're called, you know that the people on the right have been, threatening my life, telling me to go back home in a box, camel jockey, raghead, sand N-word, and all this kind of fucking shit. My whole life. First time someone said, go back to your own effing country, you effing sand N-word, I was like 6, 5. Oh wow, there's a deer just hanging out there. Check it out. Hi, deers. Yeah, well, that's like the most contact I've had with people or animalia life in years. Hi, deers. It's a nice, cool area. I don't want to scare you, but I do want to capture the deer. I don't know if you can. I can't do that there. I don't know if you can see that, but hi, deerses. Hi, deerses. Hi, deers. Don't be scared. Can you see them? Right there. Hello. I don't want to scare them, so I'll go this way. But yeah, it's kind of like that. You know, people on the right threaten my life since I was 6. And then because I don't think that there's 13,386.8962 over the square root of pi anatomically distinct biological sexes, these left-wing terrorists started threatening me. Starting, I don't know, about 10 years or so ago. I was teaching evolutionary psych at the City University of New York right when Me Too happened. And I got to tell you, that was a hell of an experience. And things just got worse and worse and worse and worse. My stories are unrelatable. Can you imagine like hanging out with people and then people start telling you what your experiences were? Like you say, yesterday I went to the gas station. They say, no, you didn't. You went to Starbucks. Could you fucking imagine that? Like it's insane. And that's what talking to people is like. Yeah, this is great. See, you walk around here long enough and you see some of this. I wonder what's in there. Oh, wow. This is like a big hollow area. Like bodies under here or some shit. But, yeah. But yeah, it's, and this is kind of how I talk, you know. I know people on YouTube, they have this like kind of way of speaking that is like a YouTube voice. I don't have that. I'm not trying to, and I don't fucking care. The way I talk, people think I'm mumbling, and they you know, it's just, to me, it's just they have no attention span. They're just waiting to react. They're not even trying to listen to you. So if you got this far, dunk and shine, as the polite and hygienic Germans off the pine. But yeah. But yeah, you know, would love to have a group of people who don't tell me what my experiences are, don't tell me what my preferences are. You know, I've had a lot of girlfriends throughout my life, but looking back, and I've been taking like inventory of it all, you know, it's like, it only worked because I was just doing what I knew they would like to hear, or do what they wanted me to do. And anytime I wanted to do anything, from sitting in a living room reading a book or anything the fuck else, it was just like, you're a terrible person, you know. And then I got to hang out with their usually Christian family members who just end up looking at me like I'm an alien to them, and they just look off into space when I say 2 + 2 = 4. They, oh, look over there, you know. It's just kind of a waste of time. And over the years, I learned to not waste my time with those people, because at some point I just did the math and I realized being around people who don't get me, unless I'm bending over backwards, walking on eggshells, jumping through hoops, wearing the team jersey, waving their fucking flag around, hating the correct group of people or whatever the fuck it is, they don't want you around. You know, what happens when I want them to pass my litmus tests and walk on the eggshells that I put before them? Do they ever want to? No, of course not. So that's why I'm alone all the time. And people who used to follow me on Facebook, they know that the main reason I don't have friends or a significant other is because of the United States of JAR, as I called it. It's an acronym, JAR, for Jesus, Alcohol, and Rap. So to the degree that I've rejected these things throughout my life, these people want nothing to fuck to do with me unless they're commanding my behavior, telling me what to drink, what sky has to go, what magic hat to wear, and which fucking flag to wave, or die, basically. The amount of death threats that I received from American people throughout my life has truly affected my personality. There's no fucking question about that. And nobody believes me. When I try to reach out for help, nobody believes me. They start accusing me. My story's not relatable to anyone I've met yet, because they usually got like a group of people, like they say, yeah, don't worry about what other people think. And then they go back home to their family and their friends, and they have their big like crew and their shindig and whatever. Yeah, if I had that too, yeah, I guess I wouldn't have to worry about what people think too, but I don't have that. So, on some level, at some point, when you keep getting shunned and ostracized and your life gets threatened, you do have to worry. You got to question yourself. If you're like a decent, sane, respectable human being with self-respect, you got to ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? And after being in and out of therapy for over 30 years, teaching psychology for 15, I don't think I'm doing anything all that wrong or egregious or unlawful or anything. It's just what I represent to people. They want me to not exist around them, is what it comes down to. Unless I'm doing what they want me to do, which is fine in the past. But the problem with that is then I'd ask them to do things I want them to do. And guess how that works? Nah, it doesn't happen. So, yeah, this is a really beautiful area here. And, yeah. So being socially isolated is a different kind of pain. And I tell my psychology students for years, especially over the last, I'd say, last like 6 or 7 or so, that if I had to go back and study psychology all over again, like from the very fucking beginning, I would study one goddamn fucking thing, easy, in one word: homogamy. Homogamy. It looks like homogamy. Homogamy. Similarity, it's like, boy, that sound. Yeah. It's like, you could be attracted to someone. They can be attracted to you, but, you throw the ball to them and they catch it, but they don't throw it back. And after a while, that affects you. And like when it happens once or twice, that stings. And when you have half a century of experiences like this, plus all kinds of family betrayal and people throwing you under the bus and stabbing you in the back. And when you reach out for help, they tell you you're acting like a victim. And when you don't reach out for help, they accuse you of being hyper independent. Can you fucking believe that shit? God damn it, man. Got some. This is where the witches and the priests all decree. Yeah. Beautiful area here. I love it. It's very quiet. I can hear myself think. I can actually finish a thought without someone telling me how to think or how to speak or how to dress or how to talk or how to walk or when you should go to bed or how you should eat and all this kind of fucking garbage. I'm tired of it. Well, I love being in the wilderness. It makes me think of, people wonder like, oh, he's a loner. Something's wrong with him. Yeah. Yes, on really both of those accounts, but this isn't like a new thing. It's like a deer antler here, I think. But, makes me, ever since I was a little kid, I just loved being alone. Like I grew up in the woods. And a lot of people don't realize this. Like they see each other, they see other people like hanging out with each other, and they don't understand that. They grew up in houses where both their families spoke the same language. They ate the same food. They sang the same songs. They don't understand what that's like. And then even in my own house, it was like, my parents spoke Farsi to each other, but they didn't speak to me. And anytime I tried to talk to them, they would just laugh. And so it was always like I was being mocked and threatened by my community members. And then at home, it was like there were two people speaking in a foreign language, literally in a foreign language that they refused to involve me in. And so, yeah, from a very early age, I mean, from before I could walk, I was just in my head. There wasn't anywhere else to go. That was it. And so, people see me alone and they're like, oh, why is he like that? Well, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then when you try to tell people, they go, oh, look, he's over-explaining. And then you don't tell people, they go, oh, look, he's being weird and isolating. It's like, what the fuck do you fucking want? Fuck off. You want to get to know me? Take the dick out of your fucking ear. Fucking hell. So, I'm going to go back there, I think, where there was a path, because I got shorts on and kind of don't feel like getting Lyme disease right now. Maybe later. So, yeah, and I've always had trouble with relationships and friendships, but it's just gotten real bad over the years, like past, like 2 or 3 especially. Someone like me, you're not really like appreciated in society anymore. People were like, well, look, when'd you cut your hair? When I had my hair cut and wear a shirt and a tie to work, they'd be like, oh, look, he's trying to dress like all like formal to like show off. And you wear a t-shirt and they go, oh, look, he doesn't take his position seriously. And it's just like, at that point, and it's not just 1 or 2 times, it's literally over and fucking over again. You realize that they're committed to misunderstanding you because they want to control you and disrespect you publicly because they don't want to change their view or understand anything. And being an Iranian American, you don't get a lot of like connection with people. And when you're already struggling to make connections, it makes it really hard. And again, I don't expect anyone to really relate to this. And when people try to, they give me their like white Christian stories of like, oh yeah, the other day someone looked at me weird. And I'm like, fucking go cry me a goddamn fucking river while you go hang out with like 20 million people who are exactly like you. We don't share that. We don't fucking share that. It's not what I'm talking about. It's like I got dropped behind enemy lines and I'm not trying to do anything to anyone. But you just get treated like an outsider, or they just get real quiet around you, It's fucking really, really, really tired of it. Just sick of it. And, yeah. And I'm sure now people go, oh, you shouldn't explain yourself. Don't worry what people think. Derp, 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 derp. And then they go and like hang out with like 25,000 people or their friends. Like hang out with them. Their in-group crowd. Yeah, if I had that, you're right. I wouldn't have to worry about what fucking people think about me. But, you get death threats and you call the cops and they look at the fucking death threat and they laugh at you. You call the cops on Cletus and his fucking cousin Jethro shows up. Fucking hell, man. And it changes you. It fucking changes you. And then when you share your story, they say, yeah, the other day someone like looked at me mean. Oh, and it hurt my feelings. But then I went home and hung out with my entire family of like 35,000 people. Fuck yourself. You're not relating to any fucking thing I'm saying to you. And I don't expect anyone to, but needed to do this and say this out loud. Going to therapists became a fucking waste of time. It's fucking white people from Christian households. Have you ever thought of going online and talking to people? Go fuck yourself. Have you ever thought about reaching out? Have you ever thought about not caring what people think? Yeah, if you were me, these fucking people couldn't fucking walk a goddamn fucking centimeter in my shoes. And I'm saying that, I mean that, I've had multiple therapists confirm that people have gone through like just one or two of the things that I've gone through. They're dead because they killed themselves, they're in jail, or they're in a mental hospital. There's studies on this, there's checklists. Like the more of these things you have, the more likely you would have killed yourself or end up in jail or in a mental hospital. Every fucking one. Check, 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 check. Times 10, dogs. Here I am standing, still breathing. And they're like, how come he doesn't reach out? Imagine you reach out for help and someone goes, oh yeah, I'll help you. And psych. Fucking hell. Or they just deny your experience. There's a deer. Hi, deuces. Hello. Hi, deuces. I don't want to scare him, but I want to go and pet you. Hello. I don't know if you can see him. It's like, right? You get that? Oh. Yeah. I'll let you stay. I don't want to scare him. But, yeah, so, you put your best foot forward and they go, oh, you shouldn't do that. All right, I'll put my worst foot forward. You shouldn't do that. I don't fucking care what you think. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Don't care what they think. Yeah, I don't. If I did, I would have been one of those fucking lonely suicides in the fucking gutter somewhere. But here I am. Got another appointment to teach at the City University of New York in the fall. Own a house, own a vehicle. I don't do anything wrong. And maybe that's just it. Maybe I should do things that are wrong. I mean, not really, but feels like everyone else does. But when you do things wrong and you got people patting you on the back for it, it's okay. You do things wrong and no one's around you patting on the back, then you're doing something really wrong. That's a problem. That's not okay. So, yeah, loneliness is difficult, and that's part of it. Like, now I've been single for a little over 2 years now. I know, like, when some women say that they're single, they mean like, yeah, what they mean is they've been riding on 75 cocks, but they're not committed to any of them. That's what they mean. When I say I'm single, I've gone on maybe 4 dates in the last 2 years, maybe. Just not really a lot of connection. People are just like, I don't drink, and so people don't want to be around me. And when I tell that to people, they just say, no, that couldn't be the reason. I tell them all the examples of that, and they go, no, that didn't happen. No, you met the wrong person. Show them the articles. No, that's not what, you're on a date with someone. It's happened just hundreds of times. You tell them you don't drink. They want nothing to do with you. They literally want, it's like rubbing sandpaper on their fucking face. They literally want nothing to do with you unless you're praising Jesus or drinking, basically. You're just not allowed to exist. So I try to make the most of it. And in the past, when I was younger, playing guitar was a big way to just cope and deal with things. But it's like playing guitar is like one of the uncoolest things now. And like no one, and again, people are like, whoa, well, who cares what they think? Well, yeah, part of playing is intrinsic motivation, but the other part is I like to share that with people. And, anyone who hasn't checked out my What the Fuck Happened series, please do. You understand. People just don't want you around. They're like, you gotta tell the world I'm Jewish, tell the world I like to drink. And it's just, I don't belong with any of these fucking people in this country anymore. It's just, since 9/11, that was, my experience as an Iranian American is just really different, even from other Iranian Americans. Like after 9/11, things got bad, but even before that, the Iranian hostage crisis in 79, getting on the school bus was like a harrowing ordeal, and I had no one to talk to. And then invasion of Iraq, and then more death threats I get for what? For what? Existing. That's what. Existing. And 9/11 happened, and then it was like, even like black people and Latino people were literally fucking spitting at me in the streets. No one believes me. No one fucking cares. And they wonder why I'm walking through the pine forest by myself. Because I don't drink or praise a first century Jewish carpenter. That's a fucking reason. That's it. That's literally it. And yeah, it's affected me quite a goddamn fucking bit over the years. You know, I was telling my students ever since 2012, all those fMRI studies about people in fMRIs and being given vignettes of isolation and shunning, and the pain receptors in their brain fire. It's like you're being hurt. You know, and when it constantly happens decade after decade after decade, it affects you. It affects you a lot. And there's not much you can really do about it. And every time you reach out, you just get told what a terrible person you are. And you got to wear this mask, and you got to wear this shirt, and you got to wave this goddamn flag around, and you got to hate this group and like this group and agree with the tribe, or fuck off, basically. And the tribe is the tribe of Jesus, alcohol, and rap. That's it. There's nothing else here. Honestly, if you're a guy in the United States and you're single and you're trying to not be single, but you've got Jesus, alcohol, and rap on your side, and you're still single, you're really fucking doing something wrong. Seriously, that's all you fucking need. That and money. And that's what dating is like. You know, when I was in between like 32 to, I would say like 49, I was like USDA grade A beef on these fucking dating apps. It was just, that was a fun time. I mean, I didn't miss out, that's for sure, and I'm glad. It was a lot of fun, but last 3 years or so, it's really changed a lot. And yeah, you're just, you know, the last few experiences is just like, are you rich? Yes or no? Will you pay for my children's baby formulas? Yes or no? Will you pay for my phone bill? Yes or no? Will you? One woman asked, will you open up a bank account with me? I was like, bitch, I haven't even fucking met you for fucking coffee. You want me to open up a fucking bank account with you? Go fuck yourself. What the fuck is this shit? Fuck off. You fucking kidding me? And then when I say no, she turns around like I'm a bad person. Can you fucking believe this shit? This is the norm. This isn't one or two. This is the norm. And I deleted all my apps today for good. It's just too fucking demoralizing is the word. That's what it is. It's demoralizing. So now I'm just trying to figure out how to move forward, knowing that there's no people here for me, because I'm not into Jesus, alcohol, or rap, and talking to people. You know, forming connections requires safety. And if you don't feel safe around people, that openness, that like vibey stuff doesn't happen, you know? And so when I tell people about how the right-wing and left-wing Christian terrorists have been threatening my life, and they start looking at me like askance and all that kind of shit, denying my experience, denying my feelings, there's no connection there. There's absolutely no fucking connection. Even if I'm like sexually attracted to someone, if we have nothing to talk about, I mean, I guess I'll nut into their fucking stomach, but I mean, we got to have a conversation to get up to that point. That doesn't really happen unless we have something to talk about. So, yeah, I can talk about dopaminergic pathways like a fucking truck driver, an educated one. So, wow, this is probably like the longest video I've made. So I'm going to go, there we go. I'm going to go climb that now. Peace.